Hey entrepreneurs, I'm back after a long absence because I've been out of town, so my apologies. But today I have a great one for you. 3 tips on how to improve your charisma skills from the iconic book, The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox Cabane. Now, charisma is super helpful and important for all entrepreneurs or business leaders because it's important for you to get noticed and get your point across very effectively. Having great charisma can radically change your trajectory for the better, even if all else stays the same. So, without further ado, let's dive into my top 3 tips that stuck with me the most after finishing this book. Number 1, there's multiple different types of charismas, and you need to pick the type that fits you the best and fits the moment the best. So, the 4 types that she outlines in this book are authority, visionary, focus, and warmth. I'm not going to dive into each of them. You'll have to read the book yourself to find out what each of them mean. But the point is, you can't use all of them in all scenarios. For example, if you want to deliver bad news to someone, then you should use warmth charisma. Also, people are naturally fit for certain types. Additionally, each type has its pros and its cons. Like, for example, authority charisma. A con is that people could just stop questioning you altogether and take your word for granted, even if they may be right, and it would be opportune for them to speak up and convince you that you're wrong for that particular scenario. Or warmth, for example, a con for that is that people could feel hurt because you're so accepting that they feel like you accept them for everything, for all that they are, and then they want a lot from you and you can't give that to everybody, so they may feel rejected because of that. So the number 2 tip is that your mental state matters a lot for charisma. For example, if something bad happens to you before an important meeting, then it could show up all over your mannerisms, your face, and your delivery method. You need to be in the right mental state to maximize your charisma. One easy tool that the author recommends is to tell yourself a story that may or may not be true, but makes yourself feel better. For example, if you're driving to work and an aggressive driver swerves and cuts you off, you may be really pissed and swear at them. So then you go into your office meeting and that's stewing at the back of your head, so it shows up in your performance negatively. So instead what you can do is you can tell yourself, oh, maybe that person was in such a hurry because they had to go to the hospital to see their dying friend or something. And so knowing that, whether it's true or false, it doesn't really matter, but it helps you accept it much faster and reorient your mental state to be in a charismatic one to best deliver a presentation or communicate with others. Last but not least, number 3 tip I learned is that body language is super important because a lot of communication is nonverbal after all. For example, handshake etiquette is important, and she touches a lot about that. Eye contact, there's a lot of do's and don'ts that may be counterintuitive at first. Even how you sit and stand matters a lot. For example, you can mirror the other person's posture and their movements. That's a really good tip. And when you want confidence, you can imagine that you're a big gorilla and take up more space. Feet apart, head and chest up, and makes you more confident as well, just taking that posture. Practice these in front of a mirror or record yourself and practice. So those are my 3 tips, but some final parting thoughts for you. There are many more helpful lessons and tips in this book, so I definitely recommend that you get it and read through all of it. After all, if you think about it, some of the greatest leaders of our time were super charismatic people. People like Steve Jobs, Bill Clinton, Martin Luther King Jr., and many, many more. They could captivate an audience and draw people over to them like magnets. That's why it's so crucial to learn these skills if you don't already have them. It will help with your leadership, persuasion skills, and many other aspects that would make you a better entrepreneur. That's all for this time. Stay tuned, subscribe, hit that like button, and click that notification bell as well to catch my future tips that could help you out and recommend you great books that you should not miss out on. Hope you have a great rest of your day. This is Kevin, and I'll see you guys next time.